Hello, my name is Helen Bibot, and this is my presentation on my reflective paper. Throughout my 4 years of teacher training, I have had several opportunities to develop my personal teaching goals, philosophy, and style. At the end of the program, I was required to put together a teaching portfolio. The process of selecting and organizing material for this portfolio has definitely helped me reflect on my educational philosophy and has enabled me to begin my career as an educator with a clear teaching statement in mind. However, I believe that developing a teaching philosophy is an ongoing process. Hence, having recently completed Foundations of Curriculum, I consider that the readings, discussions, and assignment that this course offered have greatly contributed to my professional development. Throughout this presentation, I will firstly describe my current teaching philosophy and then explain how this course has evolved my philosophy of teaching and has helped me improve my understanding of the relationship between philosophy in practice and theory in practice. My goal as a teacher is to help my students reach their full potential and develop their academic, social, and personal capacities to the maximum extent in the aim to increase their chances of a successful and joyful future. In my opinion, the teacher's role is to assist students in shaping their personality, developing judgment, and defining their values and beliefs to become critical thinkers who will be able to take worthwhile decisions for themselves. Students who have gone through my school system will be characterized as self-regulated, motivated, and engaged learners who are determined and able to make changes in our society. My teaching philosophy can be divided into 6 points. First of all, I believe that one of the most important and effective ways for teachers to engage their students in learning is to establish a close personal relationship with every child in the classroom. Building relationships involves bonding with the students, providing attentiveness and caring, involving students in their learning, getting to know the students, their interests, their strengths, their needs, their weaknesses, and how they learn best, as well as communicating with parents and collaborating with teaching peers. I also believe in creating a classroom climate conducive to learning. Such classroom fosters values such as respect, collaboration, curiosity, and equality, and is open to a range of different viewpoints. With regards to student evaluation, I valued the Assessment for Learning model. This model uses a variety of assessment tools, sees assessment as ongoing, communicates expected outcomes to students and parents, and provides feedback on students' progress regularly. I also believe it is important that students feel that what they are being taught has a purpose in their lives. Therefore, it is the job of the teachers to make their lessons relevant to their students. Teachers can make learning relevant by making real-world connections, using hands-on learning, planning field trips, inviting guest speakers, and including technology in the classroom. Inquiry-based learning is another pedagogical process which I believe in. In classrooms where teachers emphasize inquiry-based learning, students are actively involved in solving authentic problems within the context of curriculum and/or community. These powerful learning experiences engage students in their learnings. An example of inquiry-based learning is the 5E learning cycle. In my educational philosophy, students are at the center of the instructional process. Hence, I consider differentiated instruction as an important element of my philosophy of teaching. Differentiated instruction involves providing students with different avenues to learning in terms of acquiring content, processing, constructing, or making sense of ideas, and developing teaching materials and assessment measures so that all students within a classroom can learn effectively, regardless of differences in ability. Earlier in the semester, we were given the opportunity to share with our peers our educational philosophy, as well as a philosophical perspective that best corresponded to our beliefs about teaching and learning. Consequently, I summarized the main elements of my teaching philosophy, as described previously, and posted it on the discussion board. I received an interesting response from another student in the class who mentioned that my philosophy seemed very much in line with the objectives of most educators in terms of classroom conduct, guided approach, inquiry, and assessment practices. However, he asked me to be more specific in my description. Some of the questions that he asked me included: what will set you apart from other applicants in the job pool? Can you narrow your focus from the big ideas to something that defines you and your teaching? If I were to come in your classroom in November, what would I see? He mentioned that his response was simply constructive questioning to support me in building my educational portfolio. I found his comment very interesting and valuable, and I took the opportunity to further reflect on what defines me as a teacher. I have played basketball for 14 years. Hence, one word that would characterize me as a person and as an educator would be team. Together, everyone achieves more. In sports, you learn lifelong lessons such as discipline, hard work, sacrifice, teamwork, dealing with success, dealing with failure, setting and striving for goals, value of practice and preparation, and overcoming adversity. In a sport team, just like in the classroom, the coach is present to help his players become individually better at their sport and to bring all of these different players to accomplish a common goal. After I provided further details about my experience in sports and how I would apply it in the classroom, my classmate responded that he now had a much better sense of who I was as an educator. This experience of sharing ideas and opinion on the discussion board has provided me with the opportunity to further reflect on my teaching philosophy, but most importantly, to personalize it. As Ornstein and Hudkins state, philosophy provides educators with a framework or frameworks for organizing schools and classrooms. In this class, we were given the opportunity to discuss some of our most influential theories and theorists that influence our teaching philosophy. Maria Montessori, the founder of Montessori education, is one of the theorists that have greatly appealed to me in terms of my professional practice. She believed that one does not teach children, but rather creates a nurturing climate in which children can teach themselves through creative activity and exploration. Montessori education focuses on independence, freedom, and respect for a child's natural psychological, physical, and social development. Montessori's philosophy of education also encompasses elements of constructivism, which I very much believe in. I have discussed in my content of curriculum assignment how the Quebec curriculum for science, as well as the way I was taught to teach science, clearly demonstrates characteristics of constructivism. I have also mentioned inquiry-based learning in my statement of teaching philosophy. Constructivists argue that humans generate knowledge and meaning from an interaction between their experiences and their ideas. Constructivism is often associated with pedagogic approaches that promote active learning or learning by doing. Overall, this course has reminded me how important philosophy is to all aspects of teaching and learning, including curriculum design. Throughout my teacher training, I have acquired both theoretical and practical knowledge. Some examples of educational theory include pedagogy, curriculum, learning, as well as education policy, organization, and leadership. I have obtained such knowledge through the educational courses offered by the program. I have also had opportunities to apply the procedures, methods, and skill in a classroom setting during field experiences. Hornstein and Hudkins explained that the test of good theory is whether it can guide practice. Good practice, in turn, is based on theory. However, there seems to be a gap between educational theory and practice of teaching, and a common inquiry about how to apply the theories to the problems confronted in the classroom. Ornstein and Hudkins say practice involves selecting strategies and rules that apply to various situations, and that adopting the right method for the appropriate situation is not an easy task and involves a good deal of common sense and experience. I have never had a class of my own, but when I do, this course has taught me that I will need to engage in reflective practice. Reflective practice is the capacity to reflect on action so as to engage in a process of continuous learning. It involves paying critical attention to the practice values and theories which inform everyday action. Reflective practice will help me bridge together theory and practice. Rather than formal teaching or knowledge transfer, I will apply schools of thoughts and theories within the context of my work. I would like to thank you for your attention and wish you all a great school year.